What is marriage in Islam? The full picture. Marriage in Islamic theology is described not as a secular contract or a romantic ideal alone, but as one of the most significant acts of worship a person can undertake. Here is the complete, honest picture: marriage as half of faith. There's a well known hadith in which the Prophet states that when a person marries, they have completed half of their religion. This striking statement reflects how central marriage is considered within the Islamic framework for living a complete, balanced spiritual life, not a distraction from religious devotion, but one of its primary expressions. The contract, nikah. Islamically, marriage is a contract nikah agreed upon by both parties, requiring the woman's explicit consent, witnessed, and including a mandatory financial gift from the groom to the bride called the mahr. This is the bride's personal property, hers alone, not given to her family, and not refundable regardless of what happens in the marriage afterward. The Quran is explicit that this gift belongs entirely to the wife. The Quranic description of marriage's purpose. One of the most quoted verses on marriage describes spouses as garments for one another, a striking metaphor suggesting closeness, protection, and mutual covering of each other's vulnerabilities. Another verse describes God placing tranquility, love, and mercy between spouses, three specific Arabic words: sakina, mawada, and rahma. These aren't presented as automatic byproducts of marriage, but as qualities Islamic teaching holds couples are meant to consciously cultivate. Rights and responsibilities. Classical Islamic law outlines specific rights and responsibilities for both spouses. The husband traditionally bears financial responsibility for the household. The wife is not obligated to spend her own wealth on the household, even if she's wealthy, though many do so voluntarily. Both spouses have rights to kindness, respect, and intimacy from the other. Islamic teaching repeatedly emphasizes that the best of Muslim men are those who are best to their wives. The Prophet specifically used his own treatment of his wives as the standard against which Muslim men should measure themselves. Divorce as a last resort, not a shame. While marriage is highly valued, Islam does not trap people in harmful unions. Divorce is permitted, described in a hadith as the most disliked of permissible things to God, indicating it's allowed but not encouraged lightly, with specific processes for both husband and wife to initiate separation, including khula, the wife's right to seek dissolution of the marriage. The depth of Islamic theology across 14 centuries continues to reward honest and careful study. Every honest account of this faith adds one more piece to a picture that grows richer the more closely one looks. Context and nuance separate real understanding from oversimplified summaries that miss what actually matters. These are exactly the kinds of details that make an enormous difference to genuine understanding of the faith. This channel exists to provide honest, respectful, context rich education about Islam for the genuinely curious. Honest engagement with this material is exactly what this channel is built around every single day. The depth of Islamic theology across 14 centuries co-like if this gave you a fuller picture. Subscribe, Truth Every Day. I'm Noor. This is Islam with Noor. Thank you for listening.